Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're going on a seriously fascinating ride. Think of me as your mentor for the next few minutes because we're going to journey all the way from the micro, literally, mastering the biological hardware of your own brain, out to the macro, which is dominating high-tech market positioning. We're grounding this whole exploration in the incredible 3-year research and hands-on project experiences of Ayşe Müge Polat. She spent years figuring out how we can transition from mental chaos to intentional, deliberate design, and how those exact same interdisciplinary principles apply to leading complex, tech-driven businesses. So get ready, because we are definitely going to shift your perspective today.
Okay, let's take a quick look at our roadmap. We'll start with the hardware, wiring the leader's brain, then move into the software, shifting from beta to theta. After that, we'll cover the Polymathic executive model, balancing art, craft, and science. And finally, we'll wrap up with positioning in high-tech markets and transforming those intangibles into real loyalty. Let's jump in.
Section 1, Hardware, Wiring the Leader's Brain. I really want you to ask yourself, is your mind acting like a sports car stuck in first gear on the freeway? You know the feeling, right? Because when you're highly stressed, your brain is burning a massive amount of energy. It's roaring loudly, but you're going absolutely nowhere. Our modern lives constantly force our brains into this state of frequency overload, which means traditional just calm down advice? Yeah, it's almost always going to fail you. You can't just wish away the chaos. You have to understand your unique biology to actually take control of your brain's operating system.
Now, this is where Ayşe Müge Polat's 3-year educational deep dive into clinical neuroscience really shines. Looking at Dr. Daniel Amen's SPECT scans, which are basically like live traffic maps of blood flow in your head, we see that human brains generally fall into 5 distinct hardware types. Just look at the differences here. If you have a spontaneous brain, lower prefrontal cortex activity means you crave novelty, you get bored fast. But if you have a persistent brain, your high gear shifter activity means you crave routine and you absolutely hate sudden changes. This just perfectly proves why leadership, mental clarity, and even happiness are never a one-size-fits-all deal. You've got to work with your specific hardware.
Moving on to Section 2, Software, Shifting Beta to Theta.
Here's the thing. To break out of those stressful neural loops, we physically have to shift our brainwaves. Most of us live in what's called the high beta state. It's erratic, it's narrow-focused entirely on our material problems, and honestly, it is exhausting. To heal and grow, we have to shift down into the theta state. In theta, you're deeply relaxed but still awake, and incredibly receptive to actually rewriting your neural pathways. Polat's research points heavily to techniques like Dr. Joe Dispenza's spatial awareness, where you broaden your focus entirely to empty space instead of your physical stressors. This safely synchronizes your brainwaves and slows down all that chaotic firing.
But there's a catch with traditional meditation, right? It's called neural habituation. Your brain literally learns the static pattern, gets super bored, and just tunes it out. To combat this, the revolutionary patternless digital health app uses AI-driven dynamic variation to avoid those predictable loops. By constantly adjusting the sessions with varied sounds, visuals, and even little mini-games, and giving you highly personalized nudges based on your brain profile, it gently guides your brainwaves down into that restorative theta state without ever hitting a plateau. It completely breaks your old loop using unpredictable variation.
All right, Section 3, the Polymathic executive model.
In today's crazy, volatile business environment, the rigid single-dimension leader is totally obsolete. As your mentor today, I cannot stress enough how vital it is to make interdisciplinary connections for your professional growth. Let's look at Polat's own background as a prime example. She brilliantly merges the scientific rigor of a systems chemist, the emotional intelligence of an award-winning film director, and the critical structural mapping of a Cambridge historian. When you synthesize diverse perspectives like this, you achieve an incredible, highly defensible strategic depth that single-track thinkers just can't touch.
Which brings us to Section 4, Balancing Art, Craft, and Science. Take a look at this. It's a really concrete assessment tool from Henry Mintzberg and Beverly Patwell, and it shows how the most resilient leaders seamlessly blend 3 core elements. They use the intuitive visioning of art to inspire, they use the practical venturing of craft to make connections, and they rely on the logic of science to ensure it's replicable. If you lean way too far into the science, actually scratch that, if you rely only on the science, you just get stuck in analysis paralysis. Too much art and you just drift. But combining cold, hard facts with creative empathy, that is how you build a dynamic, authentic leadership style.
Okay, Section 5, Positioning in high-tech markets.
So, when we step into the high-tech market, we run straight into a massive psychological barrier. Mainstream B2B buyers are incredibly risk-averse. Having a cool new feature isn't enough to cross the chasm. As Polat's positioning framework highlights, you absolutely must pivot to positioning your intangible values. We're talking about your industry-specific customer base, your case studies, your stellar support services. These non-physical attributes are what actually mitigate their perception of risk. You have to make your market feel safe enough to adopt your innovation.
And that leads us to Section 6, transforming intangibles into loyalty.
So how do you turn those abstract, fluffy concepts into hardcore customer loyalty? Let's look at a concrete business example from Polat's tenure at Inquire AI. She applied her Polymathic approach by treating what was basically a static expert database as a living, breathing biological system. By bridging structural systems design with empathetic, conductor-style leadership, she implemented matching protocols that connected Fortune 500 clients with over 41,000 experts across 180 countries. By scientifically reducing response times, she built unbelievable relational trust. It's a hybrid positioning strategy, structurally efficient and creatively unique, that competitors literally can't copy.
I want to leave you with this provocative thought to wrap up our explainer today. Your brain is not a static entity. It's a highly adaptable machine. You are not permanently stuck in your stress, and your business is certainly not stuck in its current market position. Right now, you might just be running old loops on beautifully complex hardware. The science is there and the tools are waiting for you. So I invite you to reach out via email or subscribe to Polat's LinkedIn newsletter for more actionable neurotactics. It is officially time to change your frequency. Thanks so much for learning with me today.